Hello, comrades, and welcome back to the city of Revergrad, the much unchanged city of Revergrad. Well, that's not true. I guess in the last episode we finally made a little adjustment to it, right? I wanted to point out something about our little adjustment. If you didn't watch the last episode, our food cost has been skyrocketing. So if I look at last month and then imports, and go to clothing and don't move the mouse. Or not clothing, I'm sorry, food. 131,000. So not much time at all has passed. I mean, almost nothing, because I've been mostly paused in between episodes. I'm doing back-to-back recordings. So we just have to get that down. I mean, it's killing us. And same thing with the meat, 71. So when you look at it, between these two, we're spending $200,000 a month. And the silly thing is, not silly, but we're exporting clothing. So I think some of the reason we don't have enough meat and whatnot was because we were exporting some meat and then we're spending a fortune for it. And then the same thing. Now it's probably a break even, but we're making clothes, but we're only selling them for 54,000. So I think what we needed to do was set this up to, do that. And we did that in the last episode. Go watch that if you don't know what I'm talking about. We moved some trucks around and hopefully we'll build up a steadier supply of corn. See that? Look, we already have a bit of corn in there after just a few minutes of unpaused game time. And the other thing I noticed is that's the alcohol place. Let's go to the grocery store. Notice how the meat is at 0.8 and I took off buying meat. Now I left on buying food, and the reason is because I could say, oh look, just purchase 2 loaves worth there, So if we come over here to dollars, it doesn't matter which one you do, and I say, well, I just want to buy a little tiny bit of meat, right? Like, you can't. If anybody knows how to set this to a smaller number, and here's what gets me. Now watch this. Now I'm going to come all the way back up to like my new store that I've never messed with, right? And I deliberately didn't mess with it again. Look, it's buying 0.2 of meat. So this is the new farming ski one, where if I go in there and I click that button, it's going to make it so I buy 1 and I can't get it back to 0.2. But here's the other kind of thing that's a kicker. Let's go back to here, purchase, back to the Revergrad store. It doesn't matter which one, I just don't want to mess with this one. So let's just close it. So you can see, obviously the auto purchase is on 0.2 on farming ski score. If I come to manual purchase and I go like this, it lets me buy 0.2. It just won't let me auto purchase just 0.2. And I tried shift and control and alt. I don't know what much more to try. I tried to scroll. I tried to fake it out, like put it on manual 0.2, right? Then switch it back over. Nope. It's like two separate things there, because I'd like to be able to just buy a little bit of meat. So in any event, we're going to put that on 0 and hope that the guy comes and delivers fast enough. Right? We may even have to keep an eye on that. So anyway, I don't know that that's a bug, but it's certainly a problem. So in any event, the main thing I did in between the episodes, besides start to keep an eye on that and see that, well, we're getting a little more corn, is to come up here and place some railroad tracks. So I just sort of set these guys out here. I promised I wouldn't do too much construction without you guys, because I know you like the planning as much as I do in a lot of cases. And I also came through here and sort of made a nice little level area back to here where we would have, let's see, I stopped myself. I started getting, and then I thought, well, should I redo it for the episode? Like, now that I know what to do, I'm like, it's too finicky. So if you get this right, and I don't know that you're even doing the same thing I am, but it's certainly not something I want to redo, by the time I get the road and not the road, but the factory connection and all of that in there. And anyway, so in any event, I now have a rail construction office here that is attached to an open storage yard And that open storage yard via these connections is attached to our prefab panels thing, which if you know much about laying the rails, you need prefab panels and gravel. So then we also came here and I put in another one of these mechanical transfer things so that I could change that angle and shoot gravel right into our construction office. And also I put in another train aggregate loading so that we could shoot gravel into a train, because I'm sure we're going to want to do that at some point. And I also believe that this open storage, if we go over to the rails real quick, we're going to use these, you know, the good rails, but not the electrified ones. I think I can get, you know, the rail out this way. I don't think I'm going to go straight through this, so I'm not sure what fiasco that may cause with the length of the trains, and then this line coming here. I'm hoping, well, these should just like go out and build things. This isn't really a thing, so not really where cargo trains are going to come in, so I'm hoping that doesn't cause any problems. But in any event, you can see, so now we'll be able to get gravel dropped off other places. We'll be able to get the prefab panels dropped off other places, and in addition we'll be able to get them into this. So I think the next thing that we would need, and I'm not sure if we look at, well, I guess we have to go back over here. If we look at the construction office, it has the ability to store bricks and boards. Now I'm not sure, I guess maybe some of the bridges may need that. I don't really know. And it also has the ability for the electrical components, but we don't have a factory for that. But I would like to kind of potentially leave the ability for those things to be brought into this as well. Now, in order to do that, we would probably need an open storage, and I'm kind of hoping, we're sort of running out of connections to this thing. Maybe we could put like an open storage like here, right? And you can see I kind of thought this through a little bit. So let's see, hopefully that's not too tight a turn. Now again, there's only one connection here, so that kind of becomes a bit of a problem, you know, as far as getting this auto connected, but one way or the other, we're not going to use that much of this stuff here, but it would leave for the possibility of having that stuff dropped off here if we ever felt we needed that much of it. And I don't want that, I want this. Let's see, can we, not too sharp a turn. In my opinion, these roads need a little bit of work. They're just a bit too finicky, you know? I mean, they just don't need to be this finicky on what it'll do, you know? Like, I mean, I'll put it like right there, which you can barely tell the difference, right? And it'll work. Yeah, I mean, I know there's a difference, but yeah. All right, well, anyway, so that just, I don't know that we'll even build this anytime soon, but at least we know that if we want to try to bring boards and or wood into here, maybe we even do it by road, right? Did I put the road in the right direction? Yes, good. I think that's what I would call the right direction. I don't think I want to go in this way. Well, no, why not have it come off here? We could take boards and bricks from here and drive them right in. Other than the fact the railroad track, I'd have to cross the track, but I imagine we'll make that happen one way or the other. So now, I think that's all that we would need for, you know, getting the construction going. I think I can buy I know I can buy the electrical components directly in here, which is not ideal, but we're not going to need electrical components necessarily at this moment. And then if we did and we started, you know, doing that, like what I'd probably do, I don't have access to the warehouse there. No. So let's go here. What we could probably do is like, you know, potentially like stick a warehouse here, which maybe we should just, would it be better to do it? Can I get, let's just maybe do a placeholder kind of thing there, because, yeah, can we do it and actually get this to connect, or is that too long? There we go. Yeah, so if we wanted to bring in electrical components, there we go. We could actually do it into there. I don't think there's anything else. I can't tell from that. And that's not the right button. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else that this thing could store, so I doubt there's anything else it could want. And then my only other concern is, you know, when it comes to this, do we have, you know, trying to get bricks and the other in there might be a bit of a fiasco if we wanted to do it by train. I think we could have 2 trucks sitting in there if we just drove them from over here or something. But well, whatever. I'm creating future problems. So let's see about getting railroad tracks. Now we got to get a little further around than I was thinking. So my little ramp here is a little different, but that's all right. We got plenty of track laying to do. Hopefully you guys find this enjoyable. I think it's a bit tedious. It may be a bit much in a sense. I want to put on my wireframe. And let's take this guy out to here. And then can we just do something along these lines? Yeah. Let's do that. And then can I kind of go from there to there just to make it so he's not right on the edge of life. And that worked out fairly well, didn't it? Except the whole thing seems a bit high, doesn't it? Like we're coming out up into a hill. So let's just sort of level it down. And yeah, the road and building leveling doesn't do perfect, and I find it's nice to kind of come along there, and it doesn't want to really straighten that one little spot out, does it? That's all right. I think that's reasonable enough. All right, since building this thing is going to be the main priority, let's get this one out first, right? And the only other thing is if I wanted to let's do like that, just so that we know we have the room set aside for I don't want to, if we ever hook this guy up, I see a conflict coming, you know. Okay. Yeah, and I'm actually kind of thinking, even though this guy's coming first, let's do a little building leveling. Go over to our favorite school and get the right size building. This is easy. We'll just give this a little more room behind that warehouse there that we put in. Now I don't see myself attaching to that warehouse because I think we can unload it right into that, right? So I don't see a problem with bringing these lines real close. I guess if we had to move them in the future, we always could. There we go. That might be enough room to make a turn. Oops. Oh, yeah, you got to watch out for that. If you get up on a slope, you messed up your whole perfect little leveling job, right? Yeah, see, I'm getting... There we go. And once I'm far enough, we'll do the road leveling. All right, there we go. So, let's go back to railroad leveling. And I guess I'll come here first, because why not? Thank you, save game. And then maybe a little bit of that, right? Oh. Okay. That's So let's just do a little smooth, because that system is not absolutely perfect, and not that we need it to be perfect, but I don't know if that was a wise thing to do right there, but we'll find out. All right, so let's take this one, which would be like the outside. Is that, nah, that's too much. Let's just delete a little bit off of here. Yeah, I wouldn't mind you going yellow, just so we can, yeah, then we'll tighten you back up a little bit. All right, I don't intend to build both of these, but I don't see why we can't just build one, right? Like, in other words, we'll just set it up like this so that we build whatever one makes the most sense. Come on, I like when they come out straight, and then they seem to always want to. Let's go the other way. That's better than the other look, huh? All right, good. So we're around the corner here. Not overly impressed with how close that is to the tracks. Let's just see before we commit to it. Like I said, I'm not going to worry, like with this outer track, you know, the one that's right here, I'm not going to worry about connecting the two, because I'll just do this one, if that makes sense. Then if we find the need, because we're getting traffic jams, we'll then worry about an actual problem instead of too many future considerations. See, like same thing here. So we'll just have it, you know, this guy will be able to come in, go there, go back out, do his construction thing, come back out. We'll see. I assume he can get this way, but I don't know. We might have to do something like that wherever it fits. But we'll see. That's not a track we're going to need unless he needs it. Like, now another thing we're going to need, two other things we're going to need is, I have to remember, is a depot. So, you know, as a matter of fact, let's just put this guy here, just so we know not to build anything else, right? And that looks nice. There, so that should take care of, you know, again, I'm just going to build this one track here, the minimum we need to get steel over here. Oh, you know what? We don't have, we put steel in this open yard, huh? Yeah, so that's what we'll do. So the question is, do we want another open yard? And if we did, it's sort of looking like we could, well, we're not going to be able to attach it anyway. I don't know. How about we don't worry about bricks and boards until we at least figure out what they're needed for? Because at this moment, I don't know. All right, so let's see if we can't get this guy out in a very logical manner. Can we just go right across the road? Yes. So let's go the minimum across the road before we start doing crazy stuff. So we're going to need to be able to come in from, so we're going to try to make this, I've heard that you're better off making it left-hand drive. So this is going to be the ability to come in here, right? And then we need the ability to go back out on that line, but we also eventually, let's plan for it even if we don't build it, you know, we need the ability to come in on this one as well. All right, so that would be, no, I'd be going back out I'm sorry. I'm American, so like driving on the right is the thing, right? And I guess most Europeans too. But all right, so when you're on this way, yeah, it's going to be going back out. No, going back in because you're coming in on the left, going back out. Okay. So now, what I would think we would need is to be able to get onto either track, right? So you would then have like a section like this where you could get back out to either track at that point. Right? Now the problem is you can't get in and out on both tracks, can you? No, because you would need, if you're coming from this way, you can't get over to this track at this point. So can we could do that, but I'm not sure. Right? And then the same thing like that. No, I did it to the wrong one there. That last bit was unfortunately going to cause me to delete a lot of stuff. There we go. Now you go back to there, and you come back to here. So this guy needs to go to this one. There you go. Oh yeah, you know what? That looks a lot better, doesn't it? Yeah, let's see. Can we do the same thing? There we go. All right, so let's rehook these back up. Can I do the same like mirroring thing? Yes, that looks a lot better. All right, so now really what you'd want at that point, so if you're coming in on the left but you want to go back, so you're coming back out of this one to go this way, yeah, you would then want another switch here, which may be a little bit too close. We might end up having to move that. Can I put a semaphore thing? Yes, I could put one in there. Good. So as long as we can get a semaphore in between it, I think we're going to be okay. Does that... There you go. So you should, with that, you should be able to go every which way but loose. The only other thing is we don't have these all connected, but that's okay because we kind of went a little bit further than we need right now because I'm never going to use this one. So we just have to make sure this line works to be able to get in there. So yeah, this has now become the steel location. And then if we ever wanted another one, we could branch off. I bet you we could put it here if we ever, somewhere in this neighborhood. We'll try not to build anything else here. Not that I know what we would build there, but if we ever wanted to just drop off bricks and stuff. And so the other thing to do is get some roads, huh? And I had a good suggestion the other day during the live stream is build dirt roads, and then you can at least see if they work out. And go from there. So let's see, speaking of working out, that's some other infrastructure's in the way. Okay, I'm gonna go to like here if I can. Yeah, okay, I can live with that. I think I can live with that. I mean, it's not overly pretty, but I don't really, like I said, we can always upgrade it to gravel or other roads. And again, we'll probably have to destroy it all if we ever go put another thing in here. Who knows if we will. And so we need to get a road up to that one, and these. No, you're not going to go under there. You will go there, huh? Okay, so that means you'll go here, maybe. No, don't finish that. Overlaps. No. Now, will you even get out of here? No. That's a problem. What is this? Well, that's our train unloading. I don't really think we need anything but to be able to construct it, right? And then, well, that's an open storage, so if we're going to drop things off to, well, the prefab panels, I don't think we'd ever actually take a truck up to this, but I think what we need to do is demolish this guy, right? And at least get these things built. Well, the other thing we could do, let's do this. Let's see if we can't lower this significantly. And then can we get this? Sometimes this will actually work, though I doubt it. You get lucky in life sometimes, right? No, why not? I think that might work if we... Let's just delete this road right here. See. Why are you complaining? Building in the way. Oh, I saw green. Come on. There we go. There you go. Not pretty, but through. And this guy just needs to get over this track. There again, a lot of these are just there for, well, this guy might, I mean, we might put deliveries in through this route. Well, I assume it'll work. I mean, it's a little janky, but you know what? Let's do something a little different. It's a little bit too janky, even for my tastes. Let's see if we can't get this guy through first. Yeah, see that? I bet you that's going to look a lot better. It doesn't look a ton better, but it does seem to have a better flow to it, right? All right, so all those are hooked up with what they need. This guy's hooked up with what he needs. I'm not going to get into going all the way down there because I kind of have a feeling we got enough work on railroad tracks and such to do. But I would like to go, like, get us over to the steel mill. Now, at one point, I had cut a line through the trees where I want to go with this. And I want to leave enough room on the other side of the oil refinery here that we can put, you know, where we could put a train station for picking up oil and whatnot. So I don't want to get real close, which is why I kind of have it over this way. So let's go back over to railroad tracks, and we're going to see if we can't just take off the top of that hill for starters. Probably even come over here again. No, you don't like that one? Okay, get away with that much, I can take it. Yeah, that's a nice little corridor right through there. Very good. Alright, so now let's well, let's go over to the train station, because we're going to have to do a little bit of magic right here, huh? Not the train station, the steel mill. Which I'm sure we're going to have to delete this. Maybe even that. Keep it far away. And probably a nice slope into there would be good. Nice slope over to here would be good. I'm just going to put, well, probably should just put all 3 or else it's going to cause problems, isn't it? Yeah, we're not going to build all 3. We're not even going to attach all 3 over here, but we'll just get them like this so that we know as we do whatever we need to with this road here for a minute. Now with the road, I think I'd like to put back asphalt roads, other than I'll be cut off from my from our supply of. I need a free bulldozer. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm not overly happy with that, but let's see. Can we do something similar on the other side? I was hoping for a little better. Might have to get rid of some of these just to be able to go a little bit further. Yeah, like that. I think that's straight, isn't it? Yeah, right in the middle of this one. Let's spin it around, go this way, see if it does a little better. Yeah. How about spin it around, do this way? No, this way. Right, now that we have that, though, we can do a little bit of that. You know what's messing us up? Besides needing a bulldozer. You know what? I think it's good enough. Let's just not. There we go. Now let's make sure we can get our railroad tracks back across. There we go. All right, so let's commit to, yeah, we're going to commit to all the railroad tracks we have laid so far. How's that sound? Because I think they're fine. Lit up the board with the yellow construction guys. And then let's go back over to the roads and do the same thing. All right, now what we want to do, hopefully we have everybody we need still working in here. Yeah. Let's assign that so that he gets onto that whenever we unpause. All right, so I would like to just take one of these 3 out through here. Let's level that out a bunch. Start there and just make that look a little nicer. Like so. Perfect. All right, now hopefully we can just go right across this road without any drama. I'll cheat it this way a little bit for the chance that I don't see us taking too many trains out of there at this moment. But all right, so now let's try to do. The sharpest turn, but I guess we just got to do the turn we got to do, right? Here we go. Let's see, can we do something from like here? Yeah. I'd like kind of like one more just to make it look nice. 2 more. And once you get a certain distance away, I think you can, you know, you can use. I need a free bulldozer. Why don't I have a free bulldozer over here? I guess just because I didn't think I needed it. I mean, there. Oh, that's a paver. All right. Well, anyway, it's probably good enough. All right. So let's see. Just because we might have 3 more lines coming through. And we'll keep it off to this side for that reason. All right, so where are we aiming for? We're aiming for here, so we'll probably want to maybe be a little bit more gentle with it, but so what I want to do is, let's take this guy. No, you won't do that for me? Yeah, you'll level a little more. We'll just do as best we can. Nope, didn't want that one. All right, get out of the hills. Keep doing that. You really need to make sure you get off far enough that it turns red. Alright, so we're going to come over to like here and just sort of make it so we got a nice wide path. It doesn't have to turn red, I guess it just has to turn yellow. Now, yeah, you know what? I think we need to destroy at least that guy, so that we can level this out a bit. Get that at least a little bit level enough that we could put a building there and just do a bit of building leveling on either side of this road here. There we go. So that's probably enough that we can go to our handy dandy educational leveling section, which is certainly far and away my favorite leveling section. Okay. And then let's try it on the other side of the road, just so we have a nice approach to the road itself. So it looks like the road may need to come up, right? Okay, I think we're good. All right, so now let's see about going back to Railroad Trackville. Yeah, let's see. I just want to, like, no, I didn't really want to do it like that. No, stop. Yeah, like this. See, if we're not level going into this connection, I think it's going to be a pain. Or at least flattish, you know? No, don't do that. No, don't do that. Stop it. There we go. No. Let's, yeah, I should have, I don't want to undo all that, so I'll delete. See, I don't know if I can even, let's see, can I, no, I can't delete any other way but to do this. I got rid of it. If I don't have to bust that road up, I don't want to. Alright, so let's just keep going the way we were. Just because. And come over to like here. Take out some of that hill. Yeah, and then we'll come down like this. right? And then we're going to kind of come from like here, and a little more of a turn to it than that, but no. Let's go that, and then come on. Too close to the road or end of the road? What are you talking about? Way off the end of the road. See, look, now you're not upset about it. How's that look? A little. It's okay. All right, so now we kind of want to do the same thing we did there, but just with one, right? But we do want to make sure we can get, because again, right for now, the only thing that's coming back in here is the steel, and I just don't picture 6 steel trains going in and out of there at the moment. And then what we would want is the ability to switch tracks, so we can get on the right hand side of the road. Alright, so when he comes in, if he's coming in on the left, he can go right in. When he comes back out, he'll go through the same thing. And so you really almost have like one, you're only going to allow one train all the way back in there, and definitely going to end up with 2 tracks there. But I think, like I've said, we got enough to build. All right, so now what do we have going on over here? Oh, Brett, we'll put the power back. Oh, and you know what? We have a power problem we have to take care of. Let's make that the last thing of the episode, since it's getting kind of long. And plus, I've set myself up for... Now this, I'm not going to be able to repair that, so I'm just going to do it. Like I said, if it doesn't attach to one of these things, it doesn't let you repair it. So we'll just buy that with rubles. But good, so we have the ability, or we got it laid out where we can get this guy starting building. Another thing we need to do. Now does this, here, let me just see something. Does this guy have a connection for pipes? No. Oh, another thing, let's do this before we get too carried away. Where is our, yeah, there's our substation, right? We're going to come in here. And we're going to put, we need one of these train diesel stations. So this is going to be a bit of a pain about this whole thing, and I'm pretty sure this thing needs to be powered up too, so it needs to be bigger. But I don't think this will be in anybody's way in the future. And it'll be kind of like right smack in the mix of it, right? So now I'm assuming we can, well, that's a bad assumption. Can we just deliver right in? Oh, okay, so you need to level a little bit. All right. That's not acceptable. Play pause. So what we want to do is to spin it around a few times trick. Is that? Pretty good. Going to be good enough, I think. So now we have a road connection. Can we deliver into this guy? We don't have a road connection yet, but we're about to. So for now, I'll just make it a gravel road. Right? So now we'll be able to feed fuel into there, but we also, so this guy, we made this a dirt road. This really, let's just go right to asphalt. Right, because we're definitely going to have to get fuel delivered into this guy for him to work at all. So that's the one thing we hadn't thought about. And now we have a fuel station out here. I imagine that our one, really when you think about it, other than our working train, we're not going to have too many trains. So we can figure out where they're, if they're running out of fuel, maybe we put another fuel thing here, which would make some sense. But let's see how we can even get fuel delivered into here before I go too crazy with worrying about fuel. So let's commit to that. And we got, what, white roads over here, these warehouse roads, and we got white conveyors. There you go. Power. Power. We have a power problem to fix. So let's start dealing with the power problem. If we come here and click on, say, this house, let's see if it make a liar out of me, but now see how the power is fluctuating a lot, and it was actually like dropping to 0. And the reason I know, look, see on our shopping center there. So let's pause this and take a look at why. I think the problem that I have is we have one, where does this go? 2, 3, and 4. Like everything is coming off of this one line and this one switch right here. And that's not acceptable. So what I'd like to do is at least maybe take this off of it and run a new line. Like we'll leave this one on it maybe, but just take at least, because the oil refinery and all this stuff is probably a big draw in its own right. So let's see if that actually, oops, that's not at all what I wanted. So we're gonna bust this guy. And we'll just see if we can run another parallel line from wherever our power plant power comes from over here. Medium, biggest, so we have to come out here. It's okay. I wonder if we don't need to bring a big line over there at some point, huh? Why don't we, oh, we don't have a big, well, let's just see. Yeah, so there we go. So let's turn this. Really what we should do, no, well, this will be fine. Let's see. Yeah, let's, oh, you know what, we can, yeah, let's just go to there. And there. I'm just going to stay right with it. So if it's a bad spot, it'll be a bad spot for both of them, right? I'll go there. All right, so we'll commit to that, and we'll make sure that this guy is assigned. Yeah, put that back up ASAP, along with fixing that road ASAP. So there we go. So what I will do in between the next episodes, here, let's turn off the ugly show wireframe, is I will do my best to not do too much else, but just start getting all of this mess constructed, and then, you know, in a future episode, we'll worry about getting the railroad tracks all the way up to here. But I'd like to get the railroad tracks to where they can go gather their own stuff, like the steel, and then we'll get them up to here. And in the meantime, you know, we'll continue one last thing, maybe. Always have one last thing. The one last thing kind of game, you know. You know what? Well, let's see. I'm going to try to build an asphalt road here. And will it let me level? No, because every time I come up here to do it, I don't have a free excavator, even though they're not really doing that much. All right, so anyway, I'm going to build a road over to here, and then I'm going to get this farming thing going now that we have this town is made up. I know it was a big distraction from our farming ski, but I think getting those railroad tracks and getting those other guys down there working, being efficient, I keep an eye on our money, and I'm going to keep an eye on our deliveries of food. Make sure that we're not starving people with our new food delivery system. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.